Woo! Hey, man, Wednesday in March. Wow, sweet baby Jesus. I hope everybody is doing good today. And wow, I cannot wait to get on this. This is going to be a fun show. We've got D. Scott Smith in the house. We got the Russ Hedge, one and only Russ Hedge today. And of course, my lovely co host, Dr. Constance Leyland. How are you today?
I am good.
Yeah, you're also in rare form. So, woo! All right, it's going to be entertaining as well as educational today.
I changed the hair just for you. You know, I'm no longer blonde. I'm red right now. I'm feisty.
We can tell your moods. It's like a chameleon. You know, like every time I see the hair, I'm like, oh, I know what mood she's in. And if you watch it enough, you'll be able to tell. But Russ doesn't always do his hair, but we let him slide. He's got other good qualities. So
that's right.
He's a good man. And D Scott, man, he's got a head full like Elvis. He's got good, healthy hair, man. My grandfather was like that because it was my biological dad's side. Yeah, it's like Al Bundy. My grandfather had the Matlock hair. Like you'd be 106 and still have good hair. Yeah. So we lose a little bit, but then it stops. So far, so good. I'm only 43 though.
You know what though? I'm gonna buy you a wig for men.
Yeah, we don't know what that in the country. I don't know if that works. Like
put it to your head.
I don't know. I had Cletus doing Pilates 2 years ago, so anything's possible. So yeah. So who we got real quick before we run the intro? Because I said nobody watched the first minute.
We got Noni.
Hey, Noni is here.
And Phil and my sister's with Santa.
Look at that. Check this out. Phil Davis. He sounds familiar. Good to see you, brother. I tagged you today, but probably you didn't get the notification. Yeah. So let me know and I'll try to find it again and send it to you. Susanna Dawn, one of our sisters. Yeah. Good to see you. Yeah. Well, she's slacking. Usually she's here at like 10 hours before the show. Like,
I know.
And we got
she got what going on today.
D. Scott. He's like me. He wants to play in the comments. And look, she's coming in. Inbound Hounds. Sabrina. So good to see you. This lady, oh my gosh, she was made for the Hounds. The Hounds was made for her. Unbelievable. Y'all wait. Tommy Goodwin. LinkedIn user? Is it? No, I don't think that's Sarah P. Sarah Puccio usually. But greetings. Hey, tell us who you are. I'd love to see it. Thank you for being here. And then we're going to roll the intro with Yolanda. Oh my goodness. When she don't show up, I get sad. You know, it's not good. She's always here. All right. Well, let's go do this and give a shout out to Special Hounds and get this fun party started. How about that?
Let's go. Roll it.
I should have had you run this stuff. All right.
Otherwise, I'll be starting.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashabraner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
I'm trying to figure out who LinkedIn user is.
Uh-oh. They're turning Inspector Gadget over. All right. Hey, so everybody's back there eating chips and pistachios. So I had to grab mine. And these are awful. All right. So, brand face. Change how you're seen, charge what you're worth. Yeah. So they saw me, almost 2 years ago. They said, wow, look at this guy. Right track, wrong train. It has been life-changing. So when people say, hey, maybe I need some help with, my marketing or something's not right, I'm like, I don't even say anything. I just pull out my old brand and they're like, yeah, I'm going to call her. Enough said. But it's more than pretty graphics and stuff, guys. It's as she says, people, they meet your brand before they meet you. And if it's confusing, it doesn't make sense to your audience, then you waste all this money marketing it everywhere. And then you think you suck and then you quit. Don't do that. All right. That's why the HOB exists, man. There's people and specialists, right? You go to a medical doctor, he says, go to a specialist. That's what we do here. So get plugged in there. Thank you all. And by the way, they constantly spoiling all of us. So I got I got that in the mail. It's hanging on my office shed right now, right over there by the other stuff. Right? I love it. It's my friend. I see it right here on my screen behind it. And man, they're good people. So thank you all so much. And oh, this guy, man, dude, he's a special guy. You know, I got to say it, you know, because I went through my own recovery and that was hard enough. I couldn't imagine 98 days going through this and then having a cancer diagnosis and getting your shoulder cut out. That's some traumatic stuff. So I don't know about you. I do know about you. I want to learn from people who've done stuff and learn how to teach us. And that's Troy Carnes, guys. His book is going to drop, well, in April, May-ish. Okay. So go ahead, connect with him. He's a super guy. I mean, we put
He'll be in tomorrow with me.
Oh, is he back? Is he with you? Oh, fantastic.
He's going to be on TV tomorrow. Yep.
Yep. So Level Up Higher Education on YouTube, right? 12 o'clock Eastern time, right? Because the world doesn't run on your time. It runs on our time, New York.
Nope.
NYC. All right, people in the comments, Eastern time, right? Because the PST mess you up, and then I make Russ sad because I never show up. I can't do the time conversion. We'll bring him up. You know, I could Google it, but I still can't do it. I got Christine Bell for that. All right, and then oh wow, this guy, all right, accomplished businessman. He lost his wallet. It looked like he lost his mind, right? So this whole journey this guy went on has really just surfaced, man, spreading kindness. And it all started in York, Pennsylvania. Hey, spoiler alert, March 19th, we're having the folks that started this thing as a community. They're coming on the show, man. Police commissioner, people in the government, they're coming on the HOB live. All right. So don't mark your calendar, special day. It's going to be amazing. But he's going to be in New York City here soon, speaking with the UN. All right. Lots of things coming out. I mean, I can't spoil it. This is going to be life-changing for so many people, businesses, communities, you name it. All right. And we are so proud and honored and thrilled to be a part of this, to support this. You know, it's amazing. This is what we got together. And their kindness ambassador is our kindness queen, Dr. New. And guess who made that intro? If I wouldn't pitch slapped him on LinkedIn, I got pepper sprayed and blocked. So guys, hey, Hounds of Business, shameless plug. All right, that's how we do it here. Gee whiz. And this is, hey, it's fitting for the topic tonight. Oh, and don't tell him about this here. Don't tell him about my chips, because I ain't supposed to eat processed stuff. So this guy, he won me over. I'll be honestly. Well, everybody won me over. I can't put them on the screen here. We only take people that done stuff. Building a business is one of the hardest things you'll hear. You heard Brian Muka talk about that. Special forces. He's like, hey, no, building a business, absolutely worse. I'm a fireman. I agree. But hey, Jaded Health. This guy, his doctor told him, he said, you're going to have to get a new doctor. You don't listen to me. You're going to die. You're unhealthy. So he went and did his lawyer thing, researched it, switched gears, and now he's teaching basic things. And so he's got a program. The Hounds has a pilot program going on right now. 6 weeks. All right, 6 weeks. And here's what's fun, CJ. There's some big name out there that's done a lot of good, but they have this massive program that's similar, and it's a 90% fail rate. So over Christmas, David's like, well, how do I get something that's real that will give people a 90% success rate? I want to see people winning at this. So I can't wait. We're going to be reporting our real progress, good, bad, and ugly, the way we do it here. And we're just going to be at the real of this. Hey, you know, this is the struggle. This is the journey. So we can impact other people, right? You're not alone. Other people are just better hiding it than you are, guys. I've been telling y'all that. I promise you. So anyway, that's where we're at with this. Don't tell him I'm eating chips. I'm going to have to put on there now. I'm like, well, I did okay this week. That's it, guys. That's how we roll in the house. You want to bring them up? You want to bring these guys up, get it going?
Let's go.
Look at that. We got D. Scott Smith, who added the show last week. Thank you. As you can see, I'm good now. It was my Wi-Fi. And Russ Hedge.
There he is.
Ooh, Russ Hedge.
He's like, where's your music, Mike? What the heck?
Yeah. Clown music, baby.
I should have my own theme song. What's going on?
I know. I have a new Level Up song, but you guys can't hear it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's not Russ.
I put it in the
I was like,
my new theme song. My son just came out, released a new song with his band called So Kind It's Freaking Me Out. And I just put the YouTube link in the comments. So that's going to be my new theme song.
ooh wee. That's awesome. I love it.
I'm gonna make sure everybody got an opportunity to find Russ on LinkedIn, guys. There you go. See, you're welcome, Russ.
Yeah, don't follow Russ.
Don't follow Russ Hedge on LinkedIn. I love that. Yes. Thank you.
That's
Thank you,
CJ.
yes.
CJ did the banners today. Oh, boo. Everybody boo her in the comments.
It's all good.
You know
It's all
who's
good.
the
Yeah. Who's the boss? Who's the boss? We know who's running things around here.
That's so funny.
Yes. Well, you're making me smile. You know, I need all the energy I can get this time of day. So thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted to check in because I know a lot of us know Russ for a long time. We've known you. You've been in our books, right? And collaboration. And it's no secret to everybody that you're our go-to for kindness, neutrality, positivity, optimism. Even though you're like, oh, I gotta go take a nap, you still show up for everybody like today. How do you stay optimistic? Because I want to bottle it up and I'll sell it.
Yeah. Well, number one is God working through me. I'm so thankful to God every day for life. And my beautiful wife is right behind that, and my family supporting me. And, you know, it is a struggle sometimes going through the cancer journey. There's times that, you know, are rougher than others. And the year started out a little rough, but it's really improved, and expecting a good result. Next week, I go in for my latest scans. And so expecting good results. But yeah, I just, you know, focus on the positive, and I choose to keep a positive perspective. I always tell people, just because you have a positive perspective doesn't mean things are perfect all the time. Doesn't even mean things are going good all the time. And you certainly don't have to be happy all the time, but you can keep a positive perspective and a positive mindset in spite of that. Keep moving forward, because I love what my friend Nancy Deborah says, that we've all made it through. If you're here watching right now, you have all made it through all of your worst days, every one of them, and you're still here. So if you've made them through and you've had better days after, which you all have, then you're going to make it. So that's how I keep a positive attitude.
I love it.
You know how I keep one? I think of Russ. I'm like, wah, I got a paper cut today. Wah. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, Russ is coming on the show with a smile, and I'm like, wah. Yeah, it helps me. Right? Appreciate you.
All of you have seen the experience live with Russ and Scott and Kermie, right? We get Kermie on there.
Yeah.
You know, when that video came on was the time that Russ wasn't going to be on the show. And so we had a guest host. And so we had to fill in that enthusiasm. And that was the closest thing that I could find to mimic Russ was Kermie. Yay!
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny, because I refer to you guys affectionately as Bert and Ernie. So that's good. We're still in the wheelhouse.
Right.
Hey, can I make a comment about a comment?
Sure.
Tommy Deependahl. In his comment, you can look up there. People that wanted to have a little bit over the top celebration might have a cake with gold leaf on it, right? That was like, and they'd actually eat it, right? They're eating the gold. Yeah. So what's Tommy doing? He's eating a bunch of eggs. That's just as over the top now as a gold leaf cake.
Dude, have you seen his pythons?
What? Eggs are expensive in California, so go Tommy. Like,
yeah. Oh, he's in Laos. But have you seen him? He's not a big guy. But have you seen his guns? He's like Hulk Hogan. You said, yeah. I was like, holy cow. My leg can't even get that big, y'all.
Okay, so eggs are the secret then.
Gotta be.
People thinking, yeah, you got to do this exercise, that. Get yourself a Peloton, just eat eggs.
You can have mine. It's collecting dust, and I'm not doing anything with it. Oh my gosh. My husband got it during the pandemic. And I used it. I actually had a mom group we did the yoga Peloton and the challenge Peloton. And I would Zoom with them at the same time. And it was good for a year. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm exhausted. No more. I need
the BC comic strip has he's got his little store there, and he's got all these treadmills, and they're, you know, covered with shirts and towels and pants and all that stuff. And his sign says, clothes racks for sale. And he said, I'm just trying to be realistic.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Okay.
true.
Who let the joke monster out, man? Y'all been holding out on me. I didn't know he was funny too. Dadgummit. All right.
Can I give you one? I'll give you my favorite dad joke, and you can quote this one. And it fits with Hounds of Business, right? Because it says, if you give a man an airline ticket, he flies for a day, right? But if you push that man out of an airplane, he flies for the rest of his life.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
Oh. Hey,
Oh.
Tommy, get one of them eggs out and throw it, please. I appreciate you.
No, it's expensive. That's what I feel like. Oh my gosh.
Man, this is fun.
I wanted to ask Mike, I'm gonna start with you, right? Because I think we all do marketing, we all have communities, and we do live stream, all four of us really. And you know, I love technical skills. I technically am 60% logical and 40% creative. But I say that technical skills get you in the door, but soft skills determine how far you go. Your ability to communicate, or your ability to attract the right people or the wrong people sometimes. I wanted to start with Scott. Like, how do you determine when you have a conversation with someone that this is a keeper that I want to nurture relationships, or this is someone I'm just going to be on the peripheral vision?
So first of all, the human brain is the most remarkable tool that's out there, right? And one of the things that the human brain is good at is pattern recognition. And so we find patterns in things, even if they're not there, we find them. And that's superstition. But the brain is really good at finding patterns. And so the more people you connect with, and I'm talking about understanding them, right? You're loading your database with information. So then when you come in and you have a one-on-one with CJ and you start talking, they're going like, oh, okay, you're going to fall into a pattern of people that I know, that I've had experience with, that you have original thoughts. You've been able to synthesize information. You can communicate it well. And so we might say this is intuition. And I, by the way, am not a believer in intuition, but I am a believer in the fact that our brains process information so fast. And it's something like the amount of information your brain can process in 1 second will take the current best computer about 15 minutes to process the same number of data bits, right? And so what happens is you meet people, my brain is putting together all this stuff, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this person knows what they're talking about. And I can give a recent example. I had an introduction, I had a conversation with Noelle Russell. And she just published a book on AI, and she's not an AI expert because she learned a few prompts for ChatGPT. She was like employee number 4 for Amazon Alexa. She's worked for Microsoft. She's worked for IBM. She has lived this stuff. I sat down, we had just a short conversation. I'm like, she knows what's going on. And immediately I said, let's do an Amazon Live to promote your book because you know what you're talking about. And I met other people that you talk to them and they fall into a pattern, and I'm not going to schedule an interview with them.
So do you have like a to-do list or a checklist, like this pattern, a no-go, this pattern, yes, go? Is it more of a credibility? Because I've seen so many AI experts, SEO experts, experts in this, and then you look at them, I'm like, what have you actually done? Nothing? That's my filter.
Yeah. So the question is really, what's the synthesis of thought? So, if you want to learn marketing, And I can Google up marketing, or I can go to an AI platform. I can go to ChatGPT and I go, give me 10 things that I need to know about marketing. And it's know your audience, know your product, and the problem you solve, and and there's nothing there, right? It's empty, right? But when you talk to somebody that knows what's going on, they'd bring a different perspective. So a friend of mine, David Eastman, he was the guy is a marketing genius, and he was working with a company that was selling this dialysis process, this tool, right? This machine, and it made the process faster, so that it wasn't 8 or 10 hours or whatever. It was maybe 4 or 5 or so. It was a lot better time. And so as he was diving into this, and they were creating the marketing material, what do you have? He had pictures of dialysis rooms and machines and chairs and people, and the nursing staff dressed up in their nursing uniforms, right? And who is he selling to? He's selling to the nurses, the nursing staff, the head of nursing, who is going to write the check to buy the equipment. And they're like, we know what it looks like to do this job. You don't need to give us pictures of this. What you're doing, what you're telling us is that this is going to free up time. And so he brought them pictures of people walking in the forest with a nice cabin in the back, right? He showed people sitting with their family and friends and enjoying that, because what he was actually selling was, you're going to get time in your life to do the things that you want to do. And when you start talking and you look at what just from a conversation he completely changed the message. And I'm like, David knows what's going on. So it really just comes down to when you have that conversation with people, what is it that they're coming up with that is novel? That's not just a Google list of the top 5 things that you need to know.
I love that. To me, that my brain just streamlines it to credibility. I was like dancing. Okay, Mike, your turn. Wait, why are you muted? I can't hear you.
Because I was eating sun chips and trying to be a gentleman like
Oh
Russ.
my God.
All right. Did you see this? $4 for 30 eggs. Now listen, I could put on a little ski mask and go get some free eggs from all the neighbors in the country, but I don't think I want to go there. Right? That's not a good look. Join the Hounds. Like, I'm over there with a hamburger. Not good. So, Russ, you want to chime in, man, or do you want me to ask you something else?
Well, I want to chime in, but my phone started ringing right about the time you asked me to. So I had to. I just love you guys and the whole. When we're talking soft skills and communicating, connecting with people, it's speaking my language. It's all what I'm about. And I think that I use this quote over and over and over, but there's a once famous author told everybody that you build the people and then the people build your business. And through connecting and communicating and building relationships with people, that's how things happen. And so the soft skills of coming together, building those relationships, growing with people, collaborating, working together, the great things happen. But it's always a long game. And a lot of times people are just too darn impatient. And especially rednecks. That's what I hear, at least. And so they're just too darn impatient, and they want things to happen now, because we live in this fast food society where we expect things to happen immediately, and we go into business the same way, don't you think? And so often, if we don't get results immediately, we think it's not working, when we realize that a long-term strategy involves a lot of things, but one of them is your soft skills, your communication skills, your how you deal with people, how you connect and grow community, how you work together with people. So many things that are so important. And so I'm all about that. And I think that is the key to any good marketing plan, any good business, is to connect and build community and learn to work with others. Play good in the sandbox, right, Mike?
Well said, man. It's like Tyson, Mike Tyson. Y'all heard that quote? Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. Yeah, absolutely. So to expect, oh, hey, my plan and everything's going to be perfect. Like I said, man, I came from fire department background, 8 years. Brian came from, special forces, bomb tech. And we're like, yeah, entrepreneurship. I used to tell people jokingly, I got more silly stuff to say, but I said, look, I think about starting a business, Mike. What do you think? I'd say, well, go sit down, grab a ball peen hammer, and hit yourself in the kneecap about 18 times a day. If you can keep doing that for about 3 to 5 years, hey, you might make it. And they think I was joking. I'm like, no. Because back to what CJ said, you're absolutely right. To me, the soft skill, and I love what D. Scott had to say on this, you have to have both, right? So if you're naturally gifted to one, you have to find a way to fill the other. But let me tell you something. I've learned this the hard way. For folks like me, and I'll love people to chime in on the comments, share your thoughts, agree, disagree. It's all right. But here's what I learned. Oh man, my thought just went out the window. Dadgummit, where'd it go? All right. Oh, it did. It went woohoo. I was playing with the shiny objects in the chat. What was I saying? Help me, CJ. Unmute yourself. Save me.
Okay, while you're thinking, I want to address Sabrina, because this is really the big problem for relationships and business, period. She says, I think finding new genuine connection is more challenging. I can find connections all day long, but not everyone is genuine. And here's the thing. I think each one of us have our own antenna. Okay, Sabrina, and hear me out. When you turn on the radio, right, you have a favorite station. You literally cranking it, like, is it 93.3? Is it 94.1? It's like that with networking. You're trying to have that same alignment, same vibration. So if you want to listen to music, you're going to be willing to turn into which vibration you need to get that little satellite to get your music on. It's the same thing for people. You have to keep going until you find that feeling, that vibe. And I know Scott doesn't believe in intuition. I'm logical, but let me tell you something. When I went to this getaway from April, Wyatt, 2 weekends ago or last weekend, I'm a believer. Like, whoa. Literally, I felt like my body left for 20 minutes. And I was like, that was weird. I was seeing colors. I'm like, huh? What do you mean? Like, it was so weird. And so now I'm into like, okay, what's intuition? That gut feeling that you get about people. Like, you just, when you meet someone and you have weird feeling, you don't even know this person, right? And I try not to be judgy, but it's this weird feeling like, I'm not having a connection with this person, right? So that's how I call gut feeling. So Sabrina, you're never going to find a genuine friend if you're not trying, is all I'm saying. But also make sure you have clear boundaries for yourself's sake, not for the other people's sake. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm like, okay, come in. I need sisters. I'm an only child. No, I don't. I don't need you to come in now. Like, literally last year and this year, so different for me. I don't want no drama. I don't want no nothing. If you are trying to put community together, that's where I'm at. I don't need you to be in my circle. I don't need nobody in my circle that's like that, right? So I'm putting a different antenna from my intuition. This is who I want. I want people who have energy to be positive like Russ. Optimism and gratefulness, heart. That's what I want. I want someone like D. Scott saying, CJ, no, how about think about this differently? I'm not saying you're wrong, but think about it differently. I like that challenge. When you have that conversation and it's not in your face, like you're wrong. And I'm like, now we have a fight. I don't even know who you are, right?
CJ, let me jump in there too. I just want to say one thing, that sometimes we need to think about this too. And Scott might think about this a little bit differently. I'm a huge proponent that gut feelings are God feelings to me. And you definitely get a feeling about people, and you need to be intentional about who you connect with and the boundaries you have around how you're spending your life, because you could get way off track. So I'm 100% with your theme here. And that is, be very intentional and think about it. And if you're getting weird feelings, there's probably a good reason for that. If there's red flags popping up, probably good reasons for that, right?
Oh, okay. So now I remember what I was going to say, and it's even better now. So listen, trust your gut. Like, pay attention to your gut. but then investigate it, because it can be wrong. Your intuition could be off a little bit, or maybe a little bit, but that's the balancing act, because you're absolutely right. Who said this? Somebody just said this. Well, it was you. Hey, D. Scott. And I agree with this, and through experience, because like, I'll give you a real quick one, how soft skills can amplify and even just firebomb, like you really knock your business to the next level. And that comes with inner work. That knows, like CJ was saying, understanding who you are, building self-worth, boundaries, resilience, right? All these things that really stop it. So back in the day when I started finance, I memorized my mentor's like sales pitch, spiel, all that stuff to a T. I mean, perfect. I listened to it on repeat, and it landed like, well, I'm not going to say it because I'm around good people, but it didn't work. All right, there we go. So why? Because I'm not a 65-year-old dude, right? Like, I'm me. Like, I'm over here wearing like suits and stuff. Come on now, right? So the soft skills really amplified when it's not a costume, folks, if you don't know me. I just put Larry the Cable Guy in reverse, put on my t-shirt and said the truth. And people are like, okay, right? Because they signed up for this. So, yeah, again, remember this, especially on LinkedIn. When you're building community, building networks, you're trying to be intentional. All of this. So if they see Russ in a post, they see Russ on a live, they see Russ. Then they go to a business meeting, probably a sales call, and I show up. You would be massively confused and disappointed. So consistency comes through soft skills and all those things that people truly buy. Yeah, you have to have your business system, but I'm telling you, when you own it, when your soft skills are on point, you know who you are, understand that, man, it got, like, I said some crazy stuff that was not a sales pitch. It was not a tactic. It was God honest how I felt. And I closed 2 business deals by just being honest. But that's what I built a brand on, right? Nobody says this on purpose. This is real, right? So what y'all think about that?
Well, I just want to say Scott made a great comment. So I am the whoop whoop guy of our duo, and Scott is all the facts and all the details. Scott's the one that really is the thinker, and he usually has to give me the Reader's Digest version of everything he's thinking about because it kind of blows my mind. But I love this comment that he said, and that is, expert analysis indicates success is 70 to 90% soft skills, and I would say 90% for sure, and only 10% knowledge. Because the way you deal with people, you can spout stuff at them all day long. And I use this quote all the time by John Maxwell. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you are not caring for people, and if you're not actually communicating and really working together with people, listening to people, all those things that are important, people don't care. They want to shut you off as quickly as possible. So it doesn't matter how much you know. It doesn't matter how many skills you have. If you have no people skills and you have no connection skills, you got a long uphill road to go for sure.
And you could outsource it. I met a guy a long time ago, and I was like, you want the truth? Yeah. You don't need to be the face of this. I don't know how else to say it. Rip the Band-Aid off. I was like, you got to go get yourself an Ernie, right? You got to go get somebody that, it knows how to do the thing and natural. And that's okay. You don't have to be everything. Like, I'm a big vision guy. When it comes to how the sausage is made, oh, yeah, sweet Jesus, I got to call the Hounds, right? But that's the point of community. I don't have weaknesses. What are you talking about? I don't have weaknesses. Look, I got 6 doctorate degrees sitting over there in the top right corner of the screen. Like, I mean, I've got all these people. And, D. Scott's coming to me going, hey, here's some ideas. Here's some things we can do. Good. My superpower is bringing them all together like Dr. Xavier, right? Like, that's my thing. So you don't have to be everything. Be you, right? Go out there, connect with people, and work things out, collaborate. That's why we got this redneck Camelot. So I agree with you 1,000%. Works.
So let me talk about intuition for a moment, since that's come up let's just say, first of all, there's a lot more that we don't know than what we do know, right? So to be very dogmatic about one thing or another on these types of things is going to get you in trouble, because there's a lot more that we don't know than what we do know. And whether you call it intuition or gut feeling or whatever, the main thing is that there are things that come to mind. And I'll just go back to say it's because of these patterns. You're seeing these patterns, right? And that's why when someone comes to you and you're getting those bad vibes, you're getting that bad feeling, something is amiss. So back when I was working at Hewlett Packard, and we were manufacturing inkjet pen cartridges, right? You know those things you hate to pay $60 for? That's what we made. So out in Building 8 on the production line, these things are going through, and one of the operators says, I think these pens are out of spec. But there's no indicator, there's no dial, there's no light flashing, there's no, right? And sure enough, they check them and they're out of spec, right? So what is it? Well, it could be that the clicking rate is a little bit muffled. You know, the little tapping thing or the laser thing is the smell that's coming off was a little bit different, because that human brain absorbed all this data coming in from so many different points, that when it's running rate, this is the way it smells, this is the way it sounds, this is the tempo of these things go. And when they get out of phase, we say something's wrong. And so you meet that person, you're giving you bad vibes, and you're like, yeah, something's not right here. So we do find these things, and it's your gut, your intuition, whatever it is, but we know. And yeah, as Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify, right? So that's good advice.
Ooh, I can actually speak like CJ Smart on this. Listen, so it's biology supersedes or comes before psychology, and that's because of our cave and ancestral days, right? If you walked out of a cave and it was real dark outside and you saw something, it could be a bush. Well, that's good, I'm hungry. Or it could be a bear and you get eaten, right? So that's where it comes from. You just meet somebody and get that spidey sense. And is it always accurate? No. But should it be ignored? No. Right. And that's where the rational mind says, wait a minute, something's here. And it's simple to do nowadays, man. You want to see what somebody's up to, just go look. It doesn't mean you're judging. It doesn't mean you're being a weirdo. It means that you're trying to, birds of a feather flock together, right? So you just want to go and see, is this worth their time, my time? But yeah, absolutely. Not trusting your intuition, not developing, or whatever you want to call it, not developing those skills. That's really, 90% of my business day is here, right? It's not that I don't know how to market and find solutions. It's getting up, being disciplined, right? Getting knocked down a million times, right? Dealing with nonsense, but keeping your eye on the prize, right? That's why am I doing this? Right. And let's talk about that if you want, because all of us have busy, we got 50,000 things going on, right? We got networks, communities, shows, but it really comes down to the why. And I'll let y'all go first, but my why is not a nice packaged, what's your 6-month goal? And it's like, X, Y, and Z. Mine is visual, and I see it. I can see it. It scares me, to be honest with you. And I'll share this in a minute, but what is it that really gets you going when times go hard? Like, because that's part of the community. If it wasn't for the community and the people that support me and push me up, before I could grow to that level to do it alone or more so, man, I'd be done. It was CJ. She was one of the 3 people. I feel like Kill Bill if he didn't mess up, right? Like you got these people that you can't repay it. They're there for you. And to be honest, being able to repay it in a small way motivates the hell out of me. It really does. I was able to give things back to people who didn't even expect it, business and all these things. And boy, I'm like a positive drug. I'm hooked. I'm like, okay, how do I get more power, money, influence, time, so I can go out there and just do all this for free for everyone? And that's the goal for me. And I see that and I visualize it. What do y'all think?
I love that. Thank you for saying that. I think a lot of people don't see, like, you see us always like on social media, blah, 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 but we go deeper, like not just with Mike, with other people. We text, like sometimes I send random videos. I haven't been doing it to Russ. Just I'm like, hey, are you still okay? Look at what I'm doing in my house right now. And Russ does the same thing for me. And I love that. It's random, it's true friendship, that you don't have to just hit me up because you need something. It's hit me up because you need to just like be goofy. I love that, right? It's a reciprocity. And I also want to go back to really quickly on what D. Scott Smith was saying about intuition, right? It's that gut feeling or inner knowing, but it also operates in the pattern recognition that it's talking about, because our brain literally rapidly processes past experiences, your emotions, your subconscious. These are cues that generate instinctive response, right? Like fight or flight. And when you're talking about intuition in our brain, and I got into this with psychology class that I was doing for something else, for social media actually, for my doctoral program with my students, is the 4 things that they were talking about. Intuition isn't just like, ooh, mystical. It's cognitive process, literally in several brain regions. You have the basal ganglia, right? This like stores patterns from your past experiences, retires there. They're unconsciously there, right? The amygdala processes emotions that warns us for like, ooh, I don't know if Scott is good, but I know Russ is good. You know, those potential dangers that you've seen because of what Scott's saying, that pattern. And then there's prefrontal cortex. This is where you analyze your brain and you're like, is this good conscious thought or unconscious thought? And then your hippocampus. This is your memory, helping you recognize that familiar situation. So I agree with Scott when it comes to having this pattern recognition, because those 4 brain regions that we truly, each human being has, those are always working at the same time. I think that if you don't have good intuition, it's not because you don't have it. It's just that you don't exercise it. And intuition is literally from your experiences, right? So you have fast insight because your rational analyses by these things of the critical thinking brain is working. That's why we love working together, because we can go have fun, we can go into deep thoughts, or we can just have a conversation. And for me, my community is everything. I get up in the morning because I want to help. I don't know what it is. I just, people even like, I got into an argument with someone and I actually let go somebody who's been my friend really since 2014, because I got offended that she didn't know me for who I am. When you ask me, I'm giving you all of these, and people are like, no one works for free. And I was so quick to respond and said, I work for free. Let me tell you what I'm doing for you that you probably are so ungrateful. Let me list it down since you can't see it. And then I realized, why did I have to do that? Why did I have to do that? I don't need to respond to nobody, right? If you don't see me for who I am, that's not my fault. But then I'm like, okay, CJ, you're human. Just calm down. What's happening in your brain right now? There's 25 CJs in there. So if you get the sassy CJ, the response is not going to be ideal. I'm just saying, okay?
25 CJs is a lot. 25. Oh my goodness, 25 CJs.
And they all put up with me. They're all nice to me. Yeah, when I'm not.
We're going to twice the price.
Yes. Well, hey, CJ, just go right along with what you're saying and what Mr. Hounds of Business was asking about. That the one relationship building strategy you've implemented is exactly what you're talking about. When I take people out, I've taken so many clients out to lunch, and you know what we've done? We've laughed. We've talked about our families. We've done lots of fun stuff. And when we walked out, I've had more than one look at me and say, hey, thank you. And I said, oh, well, for what? And they go, thank you for not talking business. I never once brought up business. I never talked about it at all. That connected me to them more than drilling in business things to them. Is also a lesson in how to win friends and influence people. Dale Carnegie's book from a million years ago that's still relevant today. And that is a salesman who went in and did the same thing, walked into an office of this big company. He really wanted their business, but he noticed something in the office that they started talking about. They had in common, found a problem that this gentleman had that had nothing to do with business. He helped him. He said, hey, I know a guy. And so then he was able to connect him with this guy, solve the problem way outside of a business relationship. And this guy was so thankful. The next time he saw him and he walked out, the guy said, hey, I know what you do. I know your business. And I've instructed my staff to change all of our business over to you. And the guy never once talked about business, but it was all because relationship building, focusing in, and that is the one thing that you can do. Make friends. I do a workshop, how to make friends. Don't do cold calling. Turn cold calling into making friends. Just make friends out there. Forget about the business stuff at first, because those relationships are going to really be your golden thing in the long run, right?
Well, it's time for the commercial break.
Troy popped in.
Got to serve some cornflakes here.
Troy said, yo. So we had to say, yo, back. But go ahead, D. Scott. I know you got something. To add.
You know,
That was
so
Troy.
just following on with Russ here, and so there's a question that I would ask when you go to conferences and you go to people, and it was typically this came up when you go to conferences because you end up spending a lot of time with people, and then you go out to lunch or dinner or whatever these things, and but one time, and I'll tell you the question in a moment here. So I was on Blab, and Blab is like this, right? There's a chat going on the side, there's a live video in the middle, and I got in there and met Jackie Bernardi. So she lives in Southern California, Newport Beach area, and we're talking. And it's business. It's a business networking kind of a thing. But we got to the point of the conversation where it wasn't really time to just ask another, what do you do? What are you planning? What do you, whatever. And so I asked this question. I said, tell me about your grandparents. And this was very interesting because if you talk about parents that might be too close and it might be not a good story, right? But whether your grandparents were saints or sinners or immigrants or homesteaders or authors or just gardeners, it just didn't matter. There's all this family mystery and history around your So anyway, so I asked this question. Jackie answers the question, and she said that her family came from New England, and the movie The Perfect Storm has a scene where the camera pans through the city hall, and there's a granite wall where they've carved in the names of the fishermen that were lost at sea. And she's sitting there with her son watching this movie, and the camera pans across, and there's one of her ancestors, her son's great uncle, carved into the wall. He is, she had actually never seen it, but she knew it was there. And there it is. She's experiencing this moment with her son, but looking at their family history, right? But anyway, so and this came about because we just asked about, tell me about your grandparents. And I learned so much about her at that time. And this, right? Her connection to New England, her connection to the fishing industry, the relationship with her son, that they were, 2,500 miles away from that. All these things came together, and I understood who she was a lot better. And I remember saying at the point, as she told the story, I was like, all right, we're done for the night. No one else gets to answer because this was such an emotional time. And we continued to be connected. And I went to San Diego for Social Media Marketing World. You should all visit San Diego at some point for many reasons, right?
Visit me.
Right? So Jackie hopped on the train and came down, and I met her there at the convention center. And so this was the first time that we met in the same physical space, breathed the same air. And as she was, getting back onto the train, she says, you're the same person in person as you are online. And I said, that is the greatest compliment that I could receive.
I'm sorry. Can't cancel it. You can't go. Come on, 10 minutes. You got 6 doctorate degrees, so everybody in class has to wait 4 hours for you? I mean, is that how it works?
It's finals. I know I work until 10 p.m. every single day, but from 5 to 10 p.m. But I wanted to just say, Scott, it is a compliment. When Susanna and I've met a lot of LinkedIn people actually. When Susanna and I met, before we met, she's like, I'm nervous. I don't know if I can find you in the airport. And I'm like, first of all, San Diego Airport is looped. It's so small. You're going to be fine. Second of all, I bet you bottom dollars, okay, I will be the loudest person you'll meet in that airport. And she's like, but you're, because I'm 5 feet tall. I was like, Susanna, don't worry. So when I met her, I screamed her name. Everyone looks. I don't care. I had my camera on. I was ready to go live. And, first time I met her. And that's what the first thing she's like, oh my God, she's the same, but she is loud. She told everybody, CJ is the same as online and on, but she is definitely loud. She literally said that. I love that. I love that. I could see that feeling. I can't wait to meet you and Russ in person. And then we'll take Mike's family, the 2 daughters and the wife, and then just leave Mike in the outhouse. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Meet you guys in person.
Well, I'm right in. I can't wait either. That, it's so wonderful to meet people. And like Scott said, breathe the same air. In real life, IRL, or in 3D, as Christine would say, you know what? It's nice to be in that space. And so one day soon.
Bye, everybody. I love you.
Bye.
Guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody subscribe. Level Up Academy. All right.
See you.
Well, gentlemen, I know I even got something else. I don't even know what it is. Just somebody of credibility said show up, and that's how I do it. I'm like, okay, it's either going to be really good or really bad, probably, right? So, hey, how about, let me ask this, and I'll give it to Russ first. We often hear about, choosing collaboration over competition. How have you navigated? What's some real life stories that you chose in your career, and when have you found ways to do both, if you have?
Well, I tell you, I always choose collaboration over competition. In fact, my competition are the people that I work hardest to get to know. Because to be honest with you, I learn so much from people that are doing the same thing I'm doing. I learn so much, and I grow so much more around people that are wonderful people doing great things in the industry that I'm in. And so I think that always helps. And, been able to do amazing collaborative books with you and CJ, and just been able to do a lot of great things because Scott and I are collaborating all the time. Actually, our relationship is kind of lopsided because I think Scott is like the 90% and I'm the 10%. I'm just riding along on his coattails. But no, it is, I think, and also it kind of sets your attitude, because I think it's fun to do like athletic competition and fun competitions, but people get too intense and it really affects the way they speak to people and the way they look at people and their attitude on life. And I think when that happens, it's really a negative. And I think the people, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. People need to get along and learn to work together. And it doesn't matter if you agree or not. Let's have a great conversation and learn from one another, right?
You said too intense. It reminded me of the soccer dads. Like I'm sitting back here like, hey, go on. But they act like they had money on that game. I'm like, hey, dial it back a couple.
Maybe they do.
Yeah. You shouldn't. It's like 12-year-olds. Okay, anyway. So,
yeah, too easy to throw the games. I got you.
Yeah, I love Russ. And Russ is not saying this from an academic standpoint. Russ is walking this. Like, I've seen this. I've seen the man he stays above reproach. He does what he can. He leaves with nonsense. It's really something to see. It really is. It's like watching a magician and you're trying to figure out his tricks. Like, I'm like, well, but it's no trick. Just a good man. Just it's values. It's values. And then he operates his business. He's willing to lose money, whatever, because he's not compromising. So, D. Scott, hey, same question to you, man.
Yeah, the word values just stuck in my head. So I went to a meeting last night, put on by Action Coach, and that's a coaching franchise. And there's probably an Action Coach franchise near everyone that's on here. And I was talking to one of the guys yesterday, and he's an insurance guy. And insurance is one of those. It's like a comedy fest, right? The whole snoozing thing, and all their marketing materials printed by the Sominex Corporation, and whatever.
Right.
But what we're talking about really wasn't. People get all involved in their product because we love what we do, right? I'm a live streamer, and I'm like, you got to get this camera and this microphone and this thing, and this service and all these things. But nobody really cares about that, right? I mean, it's you said that there was 2 columns, features and benefits. And in sales school, you get taught, features tell and benefits sell, which rhymes. And that's about as far as it goes. The deal is that there's a 3rd column, and I don't have a great name for it. So you got features, right? The technical specs on what you do, the benefits, then how it helps people. And then the third column is I just call it the who cares column, right? This is and here's how it goes. If you have a gym, you set up a gym and you hire trainers as certified, trained, do all this stuff, right? So the features are, hey, we're open 24 hours a day. We've got the best equipment. We have a janitorial staff who keeps it clean between use and all this, right? So that's all this, right? So that's all the features, right? Nobody cares. Then they have all these benefits. They say, you get a personal trainer, and they're going to talk with you, and they're going to build a plan, and you're going to come in, and they're going to keep you accountable, and you're going to meet all your goals and your targets, and still nobody cares, right? Because you come in, it's like, yeah, you're going to come in and we're going to do kettlebells until you puke, right? Nobody cares. Right. Now, what you want is you want to be that 55-year-old grandfather whose grandson comes and says, hey, Grandpa, can you come and kick the ball around on the field with me, right? And you don't want to be the grandpa who kicks the ball 3 or 4 times and then sits down. You want to be the grandpa, and this is what you're selling. This is the who cares column. Right? You want to be the grandpa that you're out there kicking the ball around with your grandson, and he says, Grandpa, can we rest? Can we stop and take a break? Can we rest? Right? That's the grandpa you want to be, right? That's the features, all the technical stuff, all the benefits. Yeah, personalized program. No, what you're selling is this image, this feeling, this emotion. These values, right? The value is I'm spending time with my family, and that's what's important, not spending time in the gym. I do that because I have to if I want to express this value. And so when you're selling your products, when you're selling your services, you better be aligned with your customers' values.
Amen. That's right.
You said out of breath grandpa. Listen, why you think I'm doing this 6-week program? I'm already there, and I'm 43. That's shameful. No, but I share that not to be cute. Yeah, well,
you're getting old there, Mike. 43. Oh my goodness,
man! I'll be 44 in May.
Tripping over your beard, man. Tripping over your beard.
But when you build a business and you're mostly online, man, you can get very sedentary very quickly, and that if you lose air and water and stuff, you realize that quick. But if you're not exercising and taking care of yourself, man, you get away with that for years. But then it catches up with you, and I realized that. So and again, there's gazillions health coaches and stuff, but proof's in the pudding, right? We had accountability, we've done things, and it was a lot of the soft skill. We could relate to each other. We share the same values. I like the guy. We don't have to speak. I just came in one day and said, we got to change that. He said, all right, well, what about this? When you work with, and that's the only type of client I take on. I mean, I don't know. I want to make sure that I have a ball with the clients, right? That whole, under promise, over deliver. I take that serious. I want to come in and just go boom. They're like, wow, they got to check their bank statement. Did I accidentally pay him like 10 million? What the hell? And I want that, but I can't have that authentically without somebody that, I know, hey, I can promote. I can shout this person from the rooftops and they'll never erode my integrity. They'll never do something on purpose. We're not perfect. That's what counts for me. So, man, I love y'all's perspective. I'll give mine quick and then I'll wrap up. Want to make sure people know where to find you. You guys got good stuff. I wrote an article on this, collaboration and competition. I default to collaboration, but let me tell you something. I didn't like competition. I say I did, but that was an insecurity issue. All right. Now I'm not. So I wrote this article. Somebody wanted to collaborate. They didn't collaborate. And I used that as fuel. You remember how Rocky put the Russian, remember Ivan Drago on the mirror? Yeah, it's basically what happened in here. And I didn't dwell on it, but I used that as fuel. That bothered me. I didn't like the way that happened. And, but instead of being petty and goofy, I said, listen, use it as fuel to rise to the occasion. And so guess what? A year later, everybody's cross-pollinating and somebody goes, the same person said, hey, looks like you got a lot of great stuff going on with the Hounds and stuff. Would you like to chat? So again, you can turn, collaboration, then it's competition, and then it's collaboration. The point is, and listen, if it don't go anywhere, you really done it this time. You don't do it twice, boy, I'm going to own the whole radio stations. I'm going to grow and level up. But you're not angry with people. You just use that. To me, it's me versus me. Listen, if I can continuously improve myself and beat my own goals, who's going to stop me? I mean, honestly, like, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about me. How can I overcome self-limitations? How can I overcome, this problem that's persisting? Well, if it's persisting, it's up to me. I'm allowing it. I got to go find a way to fix it. So that's it for me. It was, look, Michelle's here. She's new, and there you go. Bro, I see. I can't pronounce names. That's why CJ's here. Y'all help me. I can't even say like Russ half the time.
Darnice.
There you go. See, easy peasy. All right, but that's my take, and I appreciate all the folks here. Hey, D. Scott, Russ, I know you got to run, me too. Tell folks where they can connect with you, find you. I know you guys got a lot of stuff. Don't assume it costs money and everything's expensive. Go connect with these guys. They got networking events that I'm a fan of. I joined. So go ahead, D. Scott.
All right. So you can learn about Russ and I. Go to local.theexperience.video. That's a consolidation site. So that's got a bunch of the programs that we have every week and links to our YouTube channels, to LinkedIn. You can learn about me. You can go to dscottsmith.com. You can go to globalteabreak.com and learn about the international networking community, co-founded with Alan Hennessy in Ireland. And you can go to thewacoexperience.com and learn about my newest program. Let's see. Yeah, on the local.theexperience.com, right? No, local.theexperience.video, excuse me. Local.theexperience.video. You can also find my book on business networking, which has a bunch of stuff in there that CJ was talking about, like your prefrontal cortex and your basal ganglia and your amygdala.
Other words I can't say.
Networking, business networking right there. It is.
It's a great book. I recommend you get it. Go to local.theexperience.video. And for me, you get my information there. There you go. But you can also go to russhedge.com for everything about me. That's my one-stop shop. And that is actually linked to local.theexperience.video. So there we go. With that, it's been great being with you, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I just realized, where's the autograph? Come on, man. Really? Now my feelings are hurt. I'm gonna be petty.
You're gonna have to do that
right
now.
Out of Amazon. Then they'll send it to me first, man.
Oh man.
I sent it direct from Amazon.
I appreciate you. Seriously, reach out to these guys, man. And look, shameless plug. Don't do this alone. Don't do any of it alone. Reach a goal, get better, be a professional, build a business. Man, Hounds of Business. That's what we're doing. They expect us to say we're great. You know what they don't expect? Hundreds of folks like this to run around and say you're great. You can't buy that at the corner store. You can't manufacture that, guys. That's what we've got. Put the horse before the cart. People first, build relationships. Yeah. Oh yeah. And those, I got a couple guys I know personally. It might be watching. No, it works. Okay. You don't always have to be like doing this and stuff. It works. All right. So whatever, if you could do that, do that. But if you feel like you're not cut out for business or entrepreneurship or networking or social media, man, there's a slew of people. Reach out to me, reach out to these guys. They help me. These Scott's helping me now. I didn't know I needed help. Hey, how about that? So, plug in, man. I appreciate both of you guys. Russ, I know, it means a lot you being here. You have a 200th anniversary live stream. Tell the folks real quick, man, because we want to pile them in. I'm going to advertise. I'm going to promote it. This is special, man. So tell folks what about it.
Well, we've got coming up on the 26th, our 200th episode of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We're super excited about that. So we want everybody to join us. It is 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time every Wednesday morning. And so we'd love to have you jump in on that. We also have The Experience Backstage, which next week is our 3-year anniversary on that show with our good friend Sri Mahabar, who is amazing, gives great video tips. And last but not least, just want to let you all know that Marketing with Russ is celebrating on the 20th of March, my 500th episode of Marketing with Russ. And so I'd love to have you guys there as well. We have a lot of celebrations coming up this month. And I just appreciate you, Mike. You're an amazing guy.
Hey, on that note, I'd be quiet and just take it. So I know we got to run.
Hey, dog.
Man, thank you guys. Seriously. Hey, I'm living the dream, man. I can't do this alone. This is a fun thing. So thank you all. Hey, friends of the Hounds, new Hounds, folks. Hey, so glad. Thank you for pushing us up, spending your time. I know you got lots going on, so it means a lot to us. Hey, let's connect. Let's have fun together. Let's build a business, change the world. That's the thing. They need us. World's jacked up, but we can make a big dent in it if we pull together, guys. So,
Amen.
hey, connect with me on LinkedIn, Redneck1, Mike Ashabraner, Hounds of Business, right, on YouTube. Or you can just send me a carrier pigeon. I still take those, but it's high wind right now, so it might be delayed. So, folks, have a good day. Appreciate you, gentlemen, and we'll catch you on the next one. It's going to be a fantastic show. Rochelle Prosser, all right, Orchid Healthcare. This lady was a regular folk. She went out,
amazing
oncology nurse, and now she's put blood, sweat, and tears and paid the price to help cancer survivor rates, increase. I mean, the government's in on it, man. It's huge. So this is who we roll with, folks. Tune in next week, same time.
Rochelle's amazing. Met her in New York. Love her.
Absolutely. See, we meet each other too. I got to go out there to Texas. I'll go to Cali, but I'm gonna slowly. Right? I'm a country boy. I'm a little nervous. But
Welcome to Waco. We got a guest room.
Oh, I'm good in Waco. We're good. All right, y'all. Be good. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.